Hi, welcome to Research Methods. Um, on this first module, we are going to do two main things. One, we're going to do the assignments that are in the module, which include reading chapter 1. And this is the textbook, Research Methods in Health Promotion. And in chapter 1, we're going to talk about what are the key steps in the research process. What you're going to be doing as a major project for this class is writing a research proposal. So obviously the key steps are important. Your author identifies 9. Now, why does it matter? Why does having a research process or planning the research out, why does it matter? Why don't we just jump right in? And why do we worry about the research process? And so the reason we worry about the research process is because if we conduct rigorous, good, solid research, that will lead to valid study findings. So the study findings we find as a result of the research are going to actually mean something. They're going to be meaningful. In turn, if you have valid study findings, what you are going to see is that you're going to see improved health promotion practices. And if you have improved health promotion practices, that eventually will lead to improved public health outcomes. So your textbook talks about these 9-step process that is important in conducting rigorous research. And so these 9 steps are divided into 3 different parts. And so you have the decision points. Those are those first 3 here. The decision points are identifying the priority population, formulating the research question, and then determining whether the research is going to be observational or experimental. So what approach you're going to be taking in order to conduct the research. Then, once you've made those decisions, you are then going to get into planning steps. What is it you're now going to start planning the program or the research process? So first, you're going to have to select a research design that works with the decisions you made during the decision point, so that they're actually going to answer the questions you want to ask. Then you will also need to determine which variables you're going to be measuring and how you're going to be measuring them. And then, since you normally cannot measure everybody in a population, you are going to have to measure a sample. And so you're going to also be thinking about selecting a sampling method. So we've done the decision points, the planning steps, and then once you've done the planning, you go into what are the action steps. And these are going to be actually implementing the study protocol. So once you have planned it, think of it as writing a recipe and then actually preparing the food. So you are going to be implementing your planning, what you plan to this point, and then that's going to result in the generation of data, which you're going to have to clean and you're going to have to analyze. This should be a little reminiscent of what you were doing in biostats. And then finally, once you've done that, and this is very important, once you've answered your questions, you disseminate those findings. Let people know what it is you have found out. And that matters because remember, we want to conduct rigorous health promotion research so that we can use it to improve health promotion practice and eventually, as an outcome, improve health outcomes. So those are the key 9 steps. Now, as I said, you are going to be planning a research proposal yourself. And so the way we're going to be doing it is I've broken it into steps. So you're going to be working on that throughout the entire term. And that means you don't just work on it the day before something is due, you work on it long term. Okay, so particularly the literature review component of it tends to take a little bit of time. So what you're going to be doing initially is selecting a topic. You're going to start working on a literature review. You're going to develop research questions. You are then going to work on a research design that is geared towards answering those research questions. You are going to decide how you're going to sample from your source population, what your sampling procedure is going to be, what your sample size is. You are going to um, describe your data collection instruments, and you're going to describe how you're going to go about collecting the data. You are going to plan what kind of data analysis you're going to be doing. You're also going to make sure that, since you're doing research with human subjects, that you are protecting those human subjects. And so you're going to have a section where you talk about research ethics. And then, like all projects, you are going to focus on time management for this project. And so you're actually going to include a timeline in your proposal. Um, so that you can, if you decided to actually carry out this research project as a thesis, you would be able to know what needs to be done by when. And so right now I just want to focus on that first step that you're going to be doing for this module. The first step, as I said, is you are going to be selecting a topic. And so instead of having just basically be any topic, it tends to take a really long time for people to come up with something. I have a list of topics from which people are going to choose. And these are going to be, for example, factors associated with e-cigarette use, factors associated with adoption and maintenance of fitness wearables, college students' perceptions of breastfeeding in public, awareness and knowledge levels of college students about the human papillomavirus infection and vaccine acceptance, influence immunization among college students and barriers to vaccination, and factors associated with regular use of campus recreation facilities. And so what is going to happen is students are going to pick one of these topics, and then they are going to use the library um, to locate a review article. That is an article that is clearly written as a literature review already on the selected topic. And when you want to look for an article that has a large bibliography, has a lot of references, and you're going to be using that as your jumping point. Let me just tell you one thing that's important and I want you to keep in mind. This first step you do as an individual. Right now, once that happens, I am going to place people in groups, because writing a literature review and coming up with a proposal takes a while. So once you have picked a topic, I am going to group people that picked the same topic into one group, and the remaining steps are going to be done as a group. So take a look through the entire syllabus, and then let me know if you have any questions.